Go.
My name is Erica Forkner, and I have chosen to do my symposium project on the link between the free market and forced labor exploitation and how fair trade practices offer a more just alternative to producers in the unindustrialized world. This past Christmas, the New York Times released an article about 14 children being rescued from forced labor, subpar working conditions, and violent threats in New Delhi, India. Here's the heart-wrenching part. The children were producing Christmas ornaments and other Christmas decorations that would later be sold in American and European markets to help aid in the celebration of the Christmas season. Christmas decorations are just one example of the wide range of products that come as a result of forced labor trafficking. According to the International Labor Organization, forced labor exploitation is a wide and prevalent problem that exploits approximately 21 million annually, 12.3 million of whom are actually trafficked. Gapminder.org states that the increase of forced labor positively correlates with the expansion of per capita income in the United States since 1820. Antislavery.org estimates that there are now about 14.2 million exploited by private corporations alone by means of capitalism in the free market setting. Forced labor exploitation produces many of the goods that Americans consume daily. Capitalists with the goal of profit operate through the free market system in business endeavors as they reach a consumer population. Forced labor exploitation is common in the production of cocoa, coffee, diamonds, coal, and bricks, to name a few. Because forced labor exploitation often occurs in an underground context, it can be almost impossible to decipher whether a particular product was made in a fair setting without exploitation. However, essential to conscious consumerism is drawing the line between blatant exploitation and hard work. For the sake of this paper, exploitation will be defined as any act in which hard work increases without an increase in the standard of living of the individual. From the perspective of the classical liberalism framework, an article called Why Trafficking Exists states that no matter how free and independent the American market actually is, there will always be someone who is being harmed by the system. Economic freedom is beneficial and is an American right, but often comes at the expense of others. In relation to the Kantian framework, our freedom comes from our reason, and our reason can help to create this balance. In turn, exploiting human beings to advance oneself, in this case using cheap slave labor to increase sales and therefore profits, is simply acting on impulse and not on reason. The trafficking industry as a whole profits with about $31.6 billion annually, and a significant element of this economy is the forced labor industry. Human inclination is to advance oneself, but acting on reason allows us to see the individual from a new perspective, namely a Christian perspective. The Imago Dei perspective, which is seen first in Genesis. In Genesis 2:7, the Bible says, God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. God has given us our lives, and we are obligated to honor the image of God that exists within ourselves and also within others. We are imprinted with God's qualities and his likeness, and God finds inherent value in each human being. Again, we must respect the image of God that exists within each person, and exploitation does not respect this value. In response, Genesis 1:28 claims that all humans are equal and that no one group is above the rest. God has put all humans together in dominion over the earth. While there are limitations to fair trade practices, conscious consumerism in the form of fair trade acts as an effective first step towards a more equitable free market economy that addresses the increasingly prevalent problem of forced labor exploitation. Furthermore, fair trade organizations as well as other NGOs can be improved by means of education of the producer as well as the consumer so that there can be more of an understanding of what exploitation is and what it entails. This understanding will help to curb forced labor exploitation. As the consumer is educated on what comes from forced labor and as obligation is understood, the market for goods produced by exploitation will decrease and conscious consumerism will increase. Of course, this will be a gradual process, and fair trade is simply the first step. As the producer is educated, they can band together to fight for fairer compensation, and exploitation will decrease.